All right, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for our special town meeting to discuss the pump station, the sewer pump station. If you'll please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With that, I will. Can I have a nomination for moderator, please? Ann?
Thank you. I nominate Ryan McDermott.
Ryan McDermott is the nomination. Can I get a second?
Second.
Yeah. All right, a second. Micah Rousey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Brian, take it away.
Thank you very much for your support, your ringing endorsement. I appreciate it. It's good to be back again here as a moderator for another public meeting. But I would like to first start off just talking about an individual that usually sits up here. Jason Indominico was a public servant of the town of Avon for many years, served on the Board of Education for 3 years, served on the town council, and left us a couple of months ago, or not even a couple of months ago, at a very young age of 48, and lost his battle to cancer. He was a vibrant member of this community, a vibrant member of the town, and served the constituents of Avon well, and a dear friend of mine, and a dear friend of so many in this room, that this being the first public meeting without our good friend Jason Indominico, I'd like to offer a moment of silence. Thank you. I wanted to be able to say that this public meeting is to first of all announce that the town clerk, Nick Hogan, will act as the clerk of the meeting in accordance with the town charter. And I'd like to call for a motion to waive the call of the meeting. Made by Ann Clark. Is there a second? Second, Michael Rosie. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. So we will suspend with the call of the reading of the call of the meeting. Let's call on our town council chairman, Dan Polhamus, to present the resolution.
Thank you, Brian. I'd actually like to make a motion that the reading of the resolution entitled Resolution Appropriating $500,000 of Grant Funding and $1.325 million of funding from the committed fund balance of the sewer fund for costs related to the upgrade of the Route 44 sanitary sewer pump station being presented to the special town meeting as stated in the notice be waived, and that the full text of the resolution is made available to those in attendance at this meeting be incorporated into the minutes of this meeting. Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Dan, would you like to then make the presentation or
Yeah, so let's see, at this point, let's go ahead and have a brief discussion on this. This is the sewer pump station that's at the base of the mountain, Route 44. This is you have a frequently asked questions document in your possession. I'd recommend you look through. We'll have the town engineer come up and give us an overview of this project, why it's needed, how old it is. But before we do that, I'd like to give a quick thanks to the WPCA members. I know several are here. If you're here, please raise your hands. Thank you. I know between yourselves and the town staff, a lot of work has gone into putting this proposal together. So thank you for that. And with that, could I actually have Larry come up and lead the presentation on this? And I'll ask council members to go ahead and head to our seats.
Okay, everybody can hear me? Great. So as Dan mentioned, this is a special town meeting for approval of the Route 44 sanitary pump station upgrade project. Tonight's program involves an overview of the proposed project, which I'll give, a description of the appropriation, some questions and answer opportunity, and then a hand vote. This is, as Dan already mentioned, tonight's question has to do with appropriating $500,000 of grant funding for the project, as well as $1.325 million of what's called committed fund balance from the sewer fund to fund the project. So the first question is, what is a pump station? For those folks that don't know, a sanitary sewer pump station is it's a mechanical device that takes sewage from the collection system, which is a series of pipes and manholes and sewer laterals and the like, and it stores it into a tank, and then as that tank fills up, much like a sump pump, as the chamber fills up, the pumps come on and pump that flow up to an uphill point where it then can flow by gravity. In this case, we're talking about the pump station at the base of Avon Mountain that flows up to a point in Mountain View Avenue and then flows from there into the town of Simsbury for treatment. Like I said, when the effluent in the sewer collection system reaches the station's maximum capacity, and I say that with sort of an asterisk because it's actually not the true maximum of the tank, so to speak, then the pumps come on and that effluent is then pumped or lifted. That's why some people call it a lift station, to a gravity line that's in Mountain View Avenue. And then from there it goes to the Simsbury Pollution Control Facility. What's the purpose of the project? So the primary purpose of the project is effectively to replace the pump station. The pump station that's there now has antiquated controls. It requires a confined space entry because it's 30-something feet in the ground. The pumps are old. The electrical components are old. It will provide additional time to address the effluent time in that tank, what's called a wet well, which currently, as additional flow goes to that pump station and to that wet well, the time lag between pump cycles becomes shorter and shorter with more connections. And therefore, when there's a problem with that pump station, which does happen, whether it loses power or there's a clog in the pump or whatnot, we have very little time to react so that we don't end up with sewage effectively on the ground, right? Nobody wants that. So several components, again, antiquated pump station, old controls. The pump station, actually, the electrical components are, even though they're in a what's called a NEMA cabinet, they're outside, so when we have to go and work on that station, we're subjected to the elements, so bottom line is it's time to replace the station. Why is it needed? Again, it's 40-plus years old. Working on the equipment requires a confined space. That means that somebody has to have a harness and whatnot to go the 35 feet into the ground to work on those pumps, which is not safe. New connections to the sewer system reduce the storage time in that wet well, as I mentioned earlier. Controls exposed to the elements. Non-sanitary debris entering the station are causing clogs on a more regular basis. The new pumps have got capabilities that the old pumps do not. And then upgrading the station was identified as a super high priority back in our 2007 sewer facilities plan. So those of you that don't know where this is, it's effectively at the base of Avon Mountain, but actually on Route 44. As you're driving from, say, down Avon Mountain and you cross Nod Road and you look to the right, this is basically what you'll see. And that's a little closer up view of it. So it's a pretty unobtrusive component of our sewer collection system now. This map shows you an area that is served by that particular pump station. It's pretty much every sewer connection that's east of the Farmington River. So those areas that are shown in green are the currently served areas. The areas shown in brown are future to be served areas. So it's a pretty extensive area that serves that pump station serves. So what are some of the features of the new pump station? Upgraded power supply, new emergency generator powered by natural gas rather than propane. So the propane tank has a limited capacity, and that actually caused some issues back in that October storm that we had many years ago. We had to get that that tank refilled several times during that event, but having a natural gas connection will keep that basically an unlimited flow. Much larger wet well capacity, roughly 7 times the size in terms of capacity, which will greatly increase our time to be able to react to emergencies. Pumps are on a rail system, so we'll be able to remove those without having to go into the station itself, so the confined space entry component is eliminated. Again, much larger capacity pumps, going from 14 horsepower to 30 horsepower, and I think basically tripling their pump capacity in terms of gallons per minute. And all new controls and electronics that we're going to locate within a small building on the site. Not a simple graphic to identify, but we're actually going to be building the new station or the upgraded station effectively behind, so a little bit further off the road than off of Route 44. We're sensitive to, that it is an entry point to Avon, and many people think of it that way, so we're trying to make this so that even though it's a pump station, it's not a particularly attractive feature for Avon. We want to, I don't want to say hide it, but make it so that it's not an eyesore. There's really not much more to talk about there in terms of components. The item in sort of a yellowish green is the wet well. The blue item is the new shed that's going to be built there with the hose that'll house the control system, and then the new generator, which is connected to natural gas over in Nod Road. Financial impact, as was already discussed, we managed to get a grant from the state of Connecticut for $500,000 to help offset some of the costs of the pump station upgrade. And then the sewer fund, which is not the tax levy, but the sewer fund balance paid for by sewer users, we're using $1.325 million of the what's the term? Unassigned fund balance, right. So we've been planning to do this upgrade for years, and we have the funds in place to pull this off. It is not supported strictly by the tax revenues. Next steps. Special town meeting is now. Assuming we get approval, we'll execute the contract literally tomorrow with the selected contractor, which is Suburban Sanitation. There are a number of items in the project that are relatively long lead time. In particular, the pump station components, the wet well, and the pumps are all integrated into a single purchase item, and those have a 4 to 6 month lead time. We already placed an order for the generator, which had a 1-year lead time, and other smaller components are pretty readily available. We're looking at construction to begin mid-spring of '24 with completion in the summertime. And we'll open it up to questions.
Thank you, Larry. Did the council want to come back up? While we're waiting for the council to come back up, I wanted to know if any other town officials had any comments on this proposal before. And I saw a lady there in the orange shirt want to come up and ask questions. You use the microphones on either side. Yes. Did you? I can't hear you. Wait. I can't hear you, so I don't know if the. Well, just before you do give your comments, I just want to set some of the ground rules for comments. You need to state your name and address for the record, and comments can be. We're going to keep 3 minutes for the first round, and then go back from there. So if you can state your name and record for the name and address for the record. We can't hear you.
Okay, guys. Oh, please forgive me. It's good all to see you. And this is not my 3 minutes, I hope.
No, I haven't even
So
started
I'm
it yet.
here? Oh, I don't like this. This is not my
You're
3
doing
minutes.
great. You're doing
Thank
perfect.
You. Hello. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Do I have to restate who I am again?
Yes.
All right, love you guys. Thank you for being here, all 25 or less of you. Anyway, Maureen Wine, 100 Wellington Heights Road, Avon. I love Avon, and I saw your website. It was so hard to look at. So I only have 3 minutes, as a clock watcher. So my main thing is, how much do we owe the state? I know it's $500,000, but what do we owe them for zoning? because I know the sewers are so important, but I've seen the atrocities, these are not my notes, on Route 10, on the edge of Avon in Simsbury, multi-building their future projects. So I think we have to look at that. I know there's been a long struggle to keep Nod Road beautiful. And that's the beauty of Avon. We're loving, we're kind, we're generous, but you know what? I want to know what the zoning impact is, because our little towns are fighting against the state of Connecticut to keep their power in zoning. Yeah, so I guess my 3 minutes are almost over, but we get a grant assistance, and so I want to know, what do we owe the state of Connecticut? I want to keep Avon free and simple and brave and strong as a small little town, which is so beautiful. Sometimes free money ain't good. So since we're giving so much money already, what the hell? Oh, sorry. We don't need $500,000 from the state of Connecticut. God bless you all, and I love you dearly. And anything else? No, I don't think so, because everything is good. Yes, we don't want Farmington River polluted? Absolutely not. And thank you for taking care, and I like SSS, they know me, I love them. We don't want that polluted. And thank you for keeping that sewer system going. But you know what? When we develop Avon more, let's keep the classic beauty that it was and is still. Yes, that's all I have to say. There might be more, but 3 minutes is up. Any questions? I think, by the way, the website was hard. I am an oldie fogey, and I don't like computers. I don't like emails. I'm really a dinosaur. We should have had many more little meetings where we could have talked about this. The grant was opened up by Lamont in August, and now we're voting in October. And you guys got it how much time? I think you're great. I think you're all great. I really do. You should see me. Look at me. But we should have had smaller mini meetings for all of us. We are not Avon here, and the virtuals can't vote? What? Disenfranchised? What?
Excuse me, this is...
I'm gone.
We have had...
I'm sorry. I'm gone. I love you. I'm going to sit down. I didn't expect to come.
Just for your information, we do have many small meetings every month, first Thursday. I'd encourage you to come by and share your thoughts there as well.
Yeah, but you knew.
Personally,
Can I refute? You knew you applied for this grant. Do we see what you were signing in behalf of the residents of Avon? What do we guarantee the state of Connecticut? That they could come in and say, we need more affordable housing.
Okay.
Like the atrocities
Thank you.
on Route 10.
Thank you.
Look at them. They're ugly. They're
you.
not pedestrian friendly.
Your 3 minutes are up now, so
Fine.
you're good. Thank you, though.
Bill, did I see your hand up? Would you like to come?
Excuse me.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You're
Go
taking
ahead.
my job over again, sir. We got the clock here. We'll call him up. Yes, sir. You're next. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Bill Stokesbury, 15 Cadbury Turn. Questions are really for Larry, and they kind of run back to my concept of fire trucks or dump trucks. What quality of equipment is going into the project? When we talk about dump trucks, we get stainless steel frames so that they last longer. One question. And the second question is, what type of warranties come with the product? And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so there are several components, several major components to the project, to the products or the project. You know, the generator, they come with a 2-year warranty. The pump station is considered a prefabricated pump station. It's being built at Old Castle. Its components include controls, which are built by a company called Flight. We did a full-on, reference check on them. We actually integrated their pump system and control systems with our Riverdale pump station upgrade that we did several years ago, and it's operated, I would say, better than flawlessly for us, because we used to have to go to that pump station on about every 6 to 8 week basis to unclog pumps. I'm going to say this, it's hard to say for a pump station, but we're pretty excited about upgrading this pump station with this system, because the amount of time that we have to spend, and we run a pretty lean shop in the sewer department, right? We literally have one sewer superintendent, and then it's guys like myself and a couple others from our engineering department. And we do that because we we focus on quality equipment. So I can't tell you every component's warranty because there are several components. You're welcome to come to my office and we can look through the books if you like, because we have the cut sheets and we have the product literature on all of it. I'll tell you that, like I said, we didn't pick this system lightly. We worked with our consultant, Fuss & O'Neill. We worked directly with Oldcastle, and we worked with the manufacturer's representatives from Flight to Pump System. And like I said, we integrated it first at Riverdale because it's a much smaller, it was kind of a test case of sorts. And they've been fantastic. So I don't know if that answers all your questions or not, but.
Yes, ma'am.
My problem's going to be I'm not tall enough. I'm Claire Henderson from One Keystone Circle. I've lived here for about 44 years, and this is the first sewer, or whatever we want to call it, meeting I have attended of the group, but I do know how important you are. I do have a couple of questions. This is one pump station, and it just is serving the eastern part of town, which is the least populated, I believe. So my question is, how many more of these pump stations are there, and are we facing similar types of upgrades in those, if we have more?
So, good question. We have 4 pump stations in Avon. I mentioned that we rebuilt one of them 3 years ago called the Riverdale Farms Pump Station. This one here is our oldest and actually sees more flow than any of the other 2 pump stations. Another pump station we have is over behind the Meadowbrook. We call it our Meadowbrook Pump Station. It's behind Avon Health. That's a small pump station. Actually doesn't have a lot of flow that comes to it. And that's also not particularly old. I think it's maybe 18 years old. And then we have one over on New Road, which services the mostly the Buckingham area. Okay, and that one is also relatively new. It was built when part of Buckingham was developed. So I don't anticipate doing another pump station upgrade for 15 years, I would guess.
Okay, beyond my time, I believe. My other question is a financial one. You're using $1,325,000 out of the committed fund balance, you call it. What is the total fund balance, and what percentage of the total is that?
It's about $4 million.
Okay, so we're a little bit over 25% of it.
Right.
Okay. Are you going to try and make that up with increased fees, and how would those increased fees work for sewer users?
So that's actually kind of a question for the WPCA, because they're the ones who identify what the sewer user fees are and other fees that are used as our revenue. But I would say that my expectation is that there will be no demonstrable effect to the sewer user fees. That the WPCA's policy or philosophy has been in recent years to increase the sewer user fee by 2 to 3% per year, trying to stay pretty much in touch with inflation. I don't have, given our fund balance and given the fact that we had been saving money over the course of time effectively for this project, my position and my recommendation to the WPCA would be there's no reason to increase user fees because of this project. Let me just put it that way.
Well, thank you.
That was amazingly perfect timing. You had 3 minutes, just ran out, so that was fantastic. Any other members wish to speak? Anyone else wish to speak? I'll ask one more time. Does anybody else in the audience wish to speak on this subject? Seeing none, we can take it back to the council. I don't know if the council has any other comments or concerns. So we'll get on with the business that we're here for. We've had our discussion about what we wanted to ask here and had a full open meeting. And the question before us as a community is, shall the resolution appropriating $500,000 of grant funding from the state Excuse me, I asked 3 times if anybody had any other discussion or questions. We're moving on. I asked 3 times, and now we're moving on, but thank you. Where was I here? Let me just start from the beginning. Shall the resolution appropriating $500,000 of grant funding and $1.325 million of funding from the committed fund balance of the sewer fund for the cost related to the upgrade of the Route 44 sanitary sewer pump station be approved? We're going to do this by a show of hands, so will you please hold your hands up high? When we call for all those in favor, say, raise your hand now. All those opposed, please raise your hand. And the opinion of, I think there was, what was the count, Nick? 21 yes, 2 no. If there's no other business to come before the town meeting, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.